CPI came in hot. That's not the way the market's really reacting. Hot number and a cool response in FX. Dollar barely moving. I still maintain my bearish bias in the dollar, and we'll get to some technical areas as soon as I could let our ex-viewers in on the party. So just waiting for this to light up for me. A little patience. There we go. I'm talking to myself about patience. Okay, not you guys. Although, it's important, especially on days like this where, you might end up forcing something. It's okay to do nothing. All right, so let's go to work. All right, XLF. I don't want to start there, but I think the banks are, topping out. One more drive in XLF would be what I'd be looking for. Why don't we start off with the dollar? So yesterday in Euro, we had a nice little trend break. We took out this downtrend line. I'm not saying that it can't be deeper, but if we start clearing these highs at 4.5 or so, you're talking about 106 as the next target. So like it, still buy it on weakness. Could probably protect yourself under these lows that we made Sunday night. Couple of gaps that worked. Okay, bought this lower gap, gap lower opening Sunday night, and did it again here Monday. So this was a pretty good trade, 100 pips or so on that. Cable's still acting okay. I'd still be a buyer in breaks in cable. And what I'm really waiting for, and it's demonstrating a little bit of weakness, but I'd like to buy a fib retracement in the Aussie. Some people think we could maybe get one more low. That would take a big risk off move. But right around 62 is halfway back. You see to the left how we held around 1.5. So between 2 and 1.5, maybe we put in some type of right shoulder here. But I'm going to be patient, like I talked about earlier, for entries. Okay, you have to be patient for entries. You have to be patient for your targets. It never ends. So let's move on to US dollar yen. I tried to sell the breakdown and it was in my face after the CPI. I'm out. I'm not short. I'm not long. I'm flat. Yields are relenting a bit today. So we'll get to that in a minute too after what the bond market did. Um, just looking over at the Dixie, you have this range that we've been in where, right around what was this high, 813. Closing back under 107 is going to measure just based off this move, 2.5. It's going to give you 104.5, which there are a lot of moving averages that come in there on the daily. So 104.5. Keep selling rallies even if we get up to 108.5, wrong over 109.5. You could see 104.5 is going to be the 200-day, which is a measured move. If you look at this as a straight line move, and then we get a breakdown. And that's just going to be the next stop. Everyone knows I'm looking for subpar sometime this summer. All right, let's move on to the star of the show, and it continues to be gold. Now, I was talking to Luke Roman today, and he's talking about the U.S. revaluing gold. If they revalued it, you have a lot of overnight risk. Use the example of the Trump coin going up 11,000%. So we're in this era where you could get overnight news, especially on a weekend where it's going to be a practice of mine to be as flat as possible every weekend, which is different than how it has been for me for years because I would normally take home positions over the weekend because I can't relax unless I have something to worry about. Well, yeah, I'm tired of worrying about big news events. So I'm just going to be flat over the weekends. We're getting a bounce in the gold silver ratio, which I think is topping out here. I'd be using these rips to sell, maybe risk 94 or so. I'd give it a little tolerance in case this move continues. But, I look at silver and, with all the fanfare and everything else, I still think this target's viable over the coming weeks and months. A lot of people are getting bullish platinum. Um, I don't see it. This could be a failure right here. So I'm bearish metals. Okay. I'm just, I know I'm going to get some people who can say, oh, Dale, you're going to miss things. Well, I miss things. I missed a good portion of this gold rally. And I was am recommending that you take some profits on your GDX. Okay. So let me just pull this up for you. There it is. Okay. So it's been one heck of a run from this level, which was a weekly breakout line. The daily isn't diverging, but the 4 hour is. We could have a pullback towards 37. This has been over a 30% move in about 5 weeks. So here's the daily divergence on the miners. So I think it's vulnerable. Look at the RSI reading here. So I'm not saying short it. I'm saying if you had the patience, which I keep bringing up, to ride this trade all the way up, I didn't, but this is a little three driver. I think there'll be another buying opportunity cheaper down towards this 37 level. You could look at some of the individual shares like AG, and it doesn't look so great to me considering what silver did. But there are others that put on much nicer moves, like Fortuna, and I'd like Fortuna maybe see what it does. I think it could pull back to at least 470. Okay, and here you have Endeavor. We had a nice little pop here, but finding resistance here. Let's see if it could work into the gap at 360. Just a quick comment on Bitcoin. Technicals don't look that great to me. I think this time we are going to break down under 92. And you can see by looking at, let's first look at the daily. And remember that Bitcoin is a measure of liquidity in the market, uh, animal spirits, if you look at it that way, and it's just acting heavy. And I think this time, if we do, look how many times we've attacked this 92,000 area, had this false breakdown here. We do it again, it does measure towards the breakout, which was, about 70,000. You can see it a little better on the weekly. So I do think that we're going to see 75,000 or so. Here was the breakout at 70, which is something else that you guys were made aware of. So let's get to risk. And I'm going to really simplify the S&Ps for you right now. So, we're having a good week and it's Thursday, so we probably will. So how do you approach it right now? So I'm looking at this descending triangle, support at 59.20, resistance at this line. So if you want to be short, you get short as close to this line as possible and maybe put stops over this high at this 61.20 level, 61.20. No, it looks like 30, or you could even use the line. Your first sign that that we're going to have a problem here is going to be taking out this week's lows at 6,000 right here. You also have a 200 on the 4 hour there. If that's taken out, it measures to 59.20, which is the bottom of the descending triangle line. And if we take this out, it's 200 handles from here. It's going to take you down to 57.20. And I've showed how important this 5,700 level is. On the daily, all you have to do is look left at 5,700 right here, all the way back to last summer. And if we take, and the 200 day here, under 5,700 if it gets there and doesn't hold, opens the door for a pretty big correction. So that's mainly what I wanted to talk about. Uh, Euro's acting okay. I mean, this should be a tailwind for a lot of things. I did want to cover TLT, which, broke down under that 88.5 level, and now it's gapping up today. So I turned pretty bearish because I thought we were going to have a false breakdown, and we did. And now, I don't know. We'll see what it does around 88.5. I think we've maybe even filled the gap from the CPI yesterday. Well, the gap would be on the daily. So I don't know. I still think that this is a negative move in bonds, and still think there's a possibility of new lows. I'll have to change my view if we start closing back over 89. Also, 10-year relenting pretty good too. If it doesn't hold 450, then maybe we could have another wave like this. But if we do hold 450, um, maybe we'll go to 34. Anyway, not a lot of conviction after yesterday. I had it. Today I don't. I still believe there's a shot that we're going to take out these highs at 480 down the road. We'll see if we have one more decline to the 434 level before that happens. So I'm not trading the bonds. Let's just look at some of the MAGAs here. And I've been saying that in the movie, the MAGAs have done better. Three survive. So here's Amazon. It's on the verge of rolling over. Could always get a rally here. We've had a nice recovery in Apple, and I thought we could get back to 240. We'll see. If we have a blow off, we're going to try 250, but this may just be correcting this before we get another wave down. Here's Meta. Okay. Diverging. Here's Goog back at major support. Netflix diverging at new highs. Microsoft trying to hold support, and Nvidia's up today. So we'll see. Semi's up too. Yeah, they're up 116. So we'll see what happens with Nvidia. I believe they have earnings next week. Still holding puts. So that's a wrap, everyone, for me. See everyone for our summary of the week's action and a look at the week ahead tomorrow. If you haven't yet, check out Warren Pye's interview. Great interview with Warren yesterday. And remember, most of all, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll see you tomorrow. See you in the room. If I have an idea